My name is Jessica Reynolds. I'm a recent graduate of the University of Iowa. I don't have much experience in sales, though I did work at a clothing retailer 3 summers in a row. But I'm hardworking, dependable, and I'm eager to put my education to good use. Plus, I'm really great with people.
I'm Mike Jones. I have more than 25 years of experience in direct sales. Last year, I managed over $4 million in accounts. I never finished college, but I have received some individualized training. I'm basically just looking for a job to get me to retirement.
My name's Robert Downs. I've got 3 years of experience in sales and customer support and an associate's degree in marketing and e-commerce. I'm a fast learner and I tend to work best on my own. Just give me a project and a deadline, stand back, I'll handle the rest.
Imagine you are looking to fill a sales position. Who would you choose? It depends on what you value more, education or experience, a positive attitude or a quiet confidence. The truth is, every job is different. They all come with unique challenges and requirements. Yet, you'd be surprised at how many employers agree on a few key characteristics necessary for almost any worker. Hundreds of studies have been done to find out what employers look for most in the people they hire. The results are fairly consistent. In hiring one person over another, employers most often consider the following: first impressions, soft skills, the kind of skills that employers look for in any worker, and finally, job-related skills, experience, and training. Let's take a look at all 3 of these in more depth.
First impressions are critical. And remember, first impressions are not necessarily made when you come in for an interview. They start with the first contact. Your resume, cover letter, telephone call, anything you may have online. First impressions are any type of contact you may have with our company. Now, if you do not make a good first impression, it's next impossible to recover. More than likely, you won't get a second chance.
Next to doing your homework, it is likely the most important aspect of your application and interview process. I was once told by a former mentor of mine many years ago that you never have a second chance to make a first impression, and I have learned that to be true.
So what goes into a first impression? For starters, you have your image. Though it may seem a little unfair and maybe superficial, the truth is that image matters. Employers expect their workers to behave professionally, and part of that is looking professional. Whether that means wearing a uniform, following a dress code, or even donning a suit every day, it's important to look your best, both on the job and during the job search.
You have to pay attention to how you look anytime you might meet an employer. During an interview, of course, but also if you go in to pick up an application or simply introduce yourself. Looking your best from the start will make you more memorable.
During any employer contact, it's extremely important to look and act professional. So that means when you're on an interview or you go to a job fair, anytime you're interfacing with an employer, you want to look polished, and that includes not only your appearance but your speech, your posture, how you present yourself, as well as when you're talking to potential employers and you don't know their potential employers. So that means it's in a more casual environment. Maybe it's a meetup or maybe it's a networking event, that it's not a specific interview. So you're not wearing an interview suit and you're not quote unquote on, but you still need to be authentic. You still need to be polished and professional, because technically an employer could meet you at any point, anywhere.
Obviously, image isn't everything. First impressions are also based on things like your speaking habits, your energy and enthusiasm, your self-confidence, your mannerisms, and your ability to respect cultural differences. When you make a positive first impression on an employer, they assume that you will make a similar impression on the customers and coworkers. Of course, positive first impressions don't amount to anything if you can't prove you have the skills to do the job. Those skills are what employers look for next. Are you trustworthy? dependable, patient, motivated, or creative? Are you a good communicator? Are you capable of managing multiple projects at once? Are you good with customers? These are just some of the soft skills that almost every employer values. Soft skills are especially valuable because they can be transferred from one job to the next. The more desirable soft skills you have, the more doors will open to you.
The National Association of Colleges and Employers does a survey to see what the most desirable skills are in new employees. In other words, they want to know what employers are looking for. And almost every year, the same kinds of skills come up: listening and communication skills, problem solving, creative thinking, interpersonal skills, self-motivation, the ability to think critically. These are the skills that just about any employer would be happy to have in a worker.
I think of soft skills as character skills. How will they get along with our current staff? Are they responsible? Will they take the initiative to get something done without being told? Basically, what type of person are they? Someone may be the most qualified candidate, education and experience-wise, on paper. But if they come in and act like they know everything or give me an indication they won't be a good fit, I probably won't hire them.
Well, soft skills can often be thought of as personality descriptors or people skills. I find value in someone who is a good listener, a good communicator overall, a creative thinker, a problem solver, maintains a positive attitude, is eager to learn, able to work independently, but also being a team player.
For example, one of the skills that all employers look for is dependability. Regardless of your experience or training, an employer won't hire you if they don't think they can count on you. Being dependable means coming to work on time, having good attendance, and working hard to meet deadlines. If you can convince an employer that you're dependable, you may get a job over someone with better credentials.
Dependability is key. We invest a lot of time and money into the people we hire. They don't show up for work, we lose money. It also means other people have to cover for that missing worker. This translates into more work for other people, which puts a strain on everyone. If someone is not dependable and we've hired them, they won't last very long.
Being dependable and reliable is critical. Your employer needs to know that they can count on you, whether it's arriving to work on time or making that critical phone call, and knowing that they have an honest and trustworthy employee.
Take a moment and think about your own soft skills. Are you dependable and reliable? Are you honest and hardworking? Are you a good communicator? Do you care about others? You will have the opportunity to look closely at your skills in the next video. For now, it's useful to think about your own strengths and weaknesses with regard to employer expectations. If you had to pick one reason why an employer should hire you, what would it be? So, if you look the part and have a great personality, does it even matter whether you have the right job-related skills and experience? While it's true that someone who is dependable, energetic, and hardworking can get a job over someone with more experience, you still have to meet certain requirements for the job. Think about the last job description you read. It probably didn't tell you how to dress. It might not have asked whether you were dependable, reliable, or resourceful. What it did list were the specific skills, experience, and training needed for the position. Usually, there are minimum qualifications designed to ensure that all applicants can meet the basic requirements.
You don't always have to have the exact qualifications that a job opening calls for, but it certainly helps. Employers will match the skills, education, and experience on your resume to the requirements for the job. If it doesn't look like you have what it takes, you probably won't even get an interview.
Of course, you must meet certain requirements for some jobs. You wouldn't want an outgoing, dependable brain surgeon who hadn't gone to medical school, or a friendly and creative web designer who doesn't know how to use a computer. Every job, from airline pilot to carpenter to short order cook, requires certain key skills. But if you are nervous about your skills or experience, or if you are looking to make a career change, there is good news. Employers will give you a chance over more experienced applicants, but only if you can convince the employer that you can do the job. You can convince employers by doing the following. For starters, make a good impression in the way you look and the way you act. Emphasize your dependability and other soft skills. Show you have what it takes to succeed at almost any task. Finally, convince the employer that you are willing and eager to learn any skills needed quickly.
Just because a job candidate doesn't have all the required skills doesn't mean I won't hire them. As long as they have enough basic skills to build on and they are genuinely open to learning new ones, I'm willing to teach them. But they have to convince me that they have the right personality and temperament for the job.
I don't care if you've got a Harvard degree and 20 years of experience. If it seems like I can't count on you to get the job done, or that you aren't a good fit for the company for some reason, I'm not going to hire you. Experience matters, but so does attitude. And a good attitude can overcome a lack of experience.
Remember, it's not always the most qualified person who gets the job. It's the best job seeker. If you learn to present your strengths effectively and succeed at all stages of the job search process, you will get hired. Then it's up to you to ensure that the employer's decision to hire you was a good one. Now, let's take a moment to review what you've learned in this video. Being successful in your job search means knowing what employers expect, and that means looking at the job search from their point of view. You need to avoid making any mistakes that would knock you out of the running, all with the goal of convincing employers that you are better than the competition. To do that, you need to meet the employer's expectations by making a good first impression and then showing you have the soft skills, job-related skills, experience, and training required for the position. To be successful, you have to be prepared. Prepared to showcase your strengths, to talk about your skills, and to prove your value. If you can do these things, some employer out there will see you as a worthwhile investment, and you will get the job you want.